thousands of years before Japan became the land of samurai, emperors, and ancient temples. There lived a people whose lives were deeply connected to the rhythms of nature. These were the Jomon people, among the earliest known inhabitants of the Japanese archipelago. They lived from around 14,000 BCE to 300 BCE, a period spanning more than 10,000 years, which is remarkably long in human history. The term, Jomon, literally translates to cord-marked, a name derived from the distinctive rope-like patterns found on their handmade clay pottery. These designs are not only beautiful but are also some of the oldest known examples of pottery decoration in the world. The Jomon people were primarily hunter-gatherers. They hunted wild animals like deer and boars using stone-tipped weapons and gathered a variety of edible plants, nuts, and berries from the dense forests. They were also skilled fishermen, relying on rivers, lakes, and coastal waters to catch fish and collect shellfish. Their relationship with the land and sea was one of balance and deep respect. In some regions, archaeological evidence suggests they even began experimenting with early forms of agriculture, growing simple crops like millet, although full-scale farming came much later with the arrival of new cultures. What truly sets the Jomon apart from many other ancient societies is their artistry and creativity. They are considered some of the earliest potters in human history. Their clay vessels, often decorated with intricate rope impressions, swirls, and patterns, were not just functional but expressive. Some were used for cooking, while others might have served ceremonial or spiritual purposes. Alongside pottery, the Jomon also created ornaments and jewelry from bone, stone, and shells. Perhaps most fascinating are the small clay figurines they made, known as Dogū. These figures, with their exaggerated eyes and stylized bodies, are believed to have held spiritual or symbolic meaning, possibly used in fertility rituals, healing ceremonies, or as protective charms. The Jomon lived in what are called pit dwellings, simple homes dug into the ground and covered with wooden frames and thatched roofs. These houses kept them warm in winter and cool in summer. They usually lived in small communities or villages, often near rivers or coastal areas where food was abundant. However, in some places, archaeologists have uncovered signs of larger, more complex settlements, showing that the Jomon could organize into bigger social groups when needed. Despite having no written language, the Jomon people left behind a rich legacy. Through their pottery, tools, dwellings, and burial practices, we can glimpse their way of life, their beliefs, and their connection to the natural world. Modern genetic studies suggest that the Jomon people may have migrated from northern Asia or Siberia. And interestingly, some of their genetic traits still exist today, especially among the indigenous Ainu people of northern Japan. These genetic links remind us that the Jomon are not entirely gone. They live on in the bloodlines and traditions of modern people. The Jomon period laid the earliest foundations of Japanese civilization. Long before writing, metal tools, or organized kingdoms, the Jomon were shaping clay, living in harmony with nature, and creating a culture that was uniquely their own. Their legacy challenges the idea that prehistoric people were simple or primitive. On the contrary, the Jomon were innovators, artists, and spiritual thinkers, people who lived with the earth, not against it. Their story, though buried under thousands of years of history, still echoes today. In every shard of pottery, in every Dogū figurine, and in the forests they once called home.